there's two ways to sync them. You can sync your carburetors by using a manometer, and a manometer will check the pressure going into each, like the vacuum going into each carburetor, and yeah, or so you can do it that way, and you can adjust the butterfly based on the vacuum that's on the other side of the butterfly. Because even when it's closed, this little butterfly valve, even when it's closed, there's still a little bit of air that's going through. Like you can see this one. Use my little screwdriver to point. There's a little air hole here that you can kind of see. That's at the very top of this butterfly. Um, so it lets a little bit of air through, but there's also a little thumbnail sliver, which, like what I've done before, is like I've had these completely bare. I'll walk outside and I'll just hold them up and look through, and you'll compare each one of these uh, butterflies to the other one, and you can just compare it by eye, or like this is considering you don't have a manometer. You can compare it by eye, and you can look at the sliver, and you can try to eyeball it, which I wouldn't really suggest. I do it, but I wouldn't suggest it. It's one of those things where do as I say, not as I do. Um, but I'm not bragging, but I have a pretty good eye with getting things like pretty close. But what I do is I try to get each one of these butterflies, since I have the guitar string anyway, and it's far thinner than my feeler gauge that I lost. There it is. So here I have my feeler gauge, and my smallest little piece in the field, my smallest little feeler on the feeler gauge is not as small as the guitar string. You can see there's a little considerable difference between the thickness and diameter. Actually, you probably can't see it because I'm looking at the video now and it's not that clear. But guitar string, this is 10,000ths of an inch, or 1/100th of an inch, whichever. And this is millimeter. Can't tell. It's kind of rusty. I don't use it much. But basically what I do is I open up the main screw, this main idle adjustment screw. Let me get it in view of the video. So I'll open up this main idle adjuster screw to where this carburetor, because this is the first one that it spins, so while you're turning the screw, so I'm just trying to stick this through the bottom. I don't know if I'm spinning it the wrong way. So I want to open it up some. Okay, so I get this to where I can just barely push the guitar string through it. And then once I can just barely push the guitar string through it, I'll close it some. You feel it grab the guitar string. So now I can't pull the guitar string out, and I'm gently pulling until, okay, so now I can pull the guitar string out. And I'm doing that because I'm going to use this one as a reference. Because all of these other carburetors, their adjustment hinges off of this one. So this screw that's in between with these springs on it, the springs aren't perfect. They don't use Loctite on these. They have a spring that puts enough tension on the screw so that it holds the screw in place. You can't put Loctite on it if you want. It's not going to hurt anything, but it's going to make it harder for somebody to adjust it later on, and they might risk stripping out this little Phillips screw because somebody put Loctite on it. So now, since I know that this one carburetor is, the guitar string fits through it perfectly, I can do the same thing to this one. So I'm going to have to, oh, there we go. I'll use the float bowl to prop it up. You don't really want to do this with the float bowl off. Yeah, it's not a good idea because you don't want to be rolling these around and then you break your float or something, and then you're mad at yourself. So, okay, little convertible screwdriver. I like this thing. So now I just have the Phillips thread it and turn it yet. So this guitar string Actually, that one was perfect already. I didn't have to. These have stayed really well since the last time I adjusted them. That's good. So I'm just sticking the guitar string in and out while I'm adjusting the screw, so that I'll know that this one is letting in the exact same amount of air as this one. And if the air going in is the exact same amount, and if my jets are all clean, then they're letting in the exact same amount of fuel, all together compared to each other. They're all letting in the exact same amount of fuel. And if my slides are all clean, then they're all moving with the same minimal amount of resistance. So your overall performance of the carburetors, oh yeah, and I'll add another if, and if your idle air screw is adjusted to the like it's supposed to be, then all of your carburetors are moving together as one in unison, very efficiently. They're all producing the same amount of power. As if your air fuel ratio is off, then your carburetors are gonna, comparing each one individually, if your air fuel ratio is off on, let's say, this one, and it's solid on these other three, then what you're going to see is slightly more power on this one and slightly less power on these. Or if one is like the opposite of that, if one, the air fuel ratio is off and the other two, or the other three are solid, wait a second, I said that backwards. If one, the air fuel ratio is good, and the other three, it's all like random, you don't know what it is, then it's going to be different. Or if like these, I have to adjust these two butterflies, like this one and this one, because I can't stick the guitar string through it. But the order that you adjust these, which this is very important, I hope you haven't turned the video off before then, or before this. The order that you adjust these is adjust this one first to where you can get the guitar string through it. And this is the one that opens and closes off of this main screw. So it'll open more. Actually, all of these, sorry, let me clarify that. All of these open more off of the main screw, but this one can only be adjusted by the main screw. That's why you're using it as a reference. Because set the main screw in place, use a guitar string to cinch it down to where it's the thickness, it's the little opening is the thickness of the guitar string. And you adjust this one just like this one. So adjust this one second. And then this is kind of the same thing. This adjustment screw here, it opens it up more or less in relation to this one. So all of these have the ability to move together as one. This is actually kind of hard to explain now that I think about it. It's easy to do, it's just hard to explain. But this screw adjusts this one butterfly, or sorry, this screw adjusts these two butterflies, and this screw adjusts this one. If that's too complicated, then while you're holding the carburetors in the direction that I'm holding them, with the floats on this side, your idle adjustment screw here, I'm above the video, but you know where the adjustment screw is. Sorry, not idle adjust. Yeah, your main idle screw. So your main idle screw is out here. Then adjust this one first. Adjust this one second. This one third, and this one fourth.